If you like what you hear in this podcast and want to help us keep the lights on, then you could support us on Ko-fi for as little as a £1 one-off donation. The links are in the episode description. Thanks for your support. This is Skipped, the podcast where we tell you, in our opinion, which albums are truly unskippable and which ones belong in the skip. I'm Mike.
I'm Rob.
And this week we are listening to Abbey Road by the Beatles. Yes, I've heard of it. You've heard of it. We've all fucking heard of it. This feels like one of those ones where it's kind of similar to Rumours in the sense that it's like, well, you have to talk about this. Or Thriller. Eventually, you'll have to talk about this. And the wheel decided that's where we are.
Yep, it took long enough. It's been on here a while.
It's skirted in just under that 1 year mark, which is very quickly approaching.
That's crazy.
It's mental to me. So potentially, this could be in the mark for some year-end shenanigans, but we'll have to see how it goes. This one was suggested to us by my very good friend, Ian Cooper. Thank you so much for suggesting not one, but I think 3 albums in the end.
You full named him. Full government name in here.
He's full government named when he was doing his public office stuff, so I don't feel too bad full naming him. He's a fantastic gent. He suggested exactly the albums I thought he was going to suggest, which was this, a Bob Dylan album, and I think something else, but I can't quite remember. But
is that the name of the Bob Dylan album?
It's in that tone of voice.
Is this something else?
I'm still not liking Bob Dylan.
I
tried listening to some the other day out of curiosity. I don't think it's for me, but we'll get there.
Exactly.
But the Beatles, funnily enough, nice segue in, was also something I thought I wouldn't be into. We'll get into a deeper discussion as to why that is. But before we start, shall we have... Actually, no, do you want some top-line thoughts before I say facts and or figures?
I'm just going to give you a random fact of... I once sat and watched a 2-hour live stream of people trying to take photos on the Abbey Road crossing. It is a channel on YouTube,
right,
where it's literally just a live stream of the crossing, watching people try and recreate the photo while plumes of traffic head towards them. It is a spectacle.
There's a lot more road traffic than there was in... was this 1969?
Yep.
I mean... very nice, but also times have changed a little bit. I don't feel like there's much preamble you can really say about the last album to be recorded by the Beatles.
Technically, the last album to be recorded,
not the last to be released.
Yes,
because
Let It Be was recorded before this, but released after this,
and it was the subject of not one but 2 documentaries. The Let It Be / Get Back recordings, which was the title of that album before it then was delayed. The band, I think, broke up for a very short amount of time, then did Abbey Road, then came back to release what was then called Get Back, but then was later titled Let It Be, did the very famous rooftop concert, and then fucked off into the ether. So this is very much like the tail end of the Beatles as a career. As far as I'm understanding from the YouTube videos that I've watched about this, as there are umpteen of them, umpteen million even, this was very much a Paul McCartney tries to keep it together for the kids album, because John Lennon was off being the most arrogant man in the world. George Harrison had mentally checked out. Ringo Starr. He was there. And Paul McCartney was like, lads, we've got one more album in us. We could just do... And then there's this kind of like refocus around... Well, what does side 1 look like? Side 2 possibly could be this big medley that we've all got. Let's just shit out all of our ideas all at one time. And then you get Abbey Road, which at the time, which I'm sure you're about to say, was seen very middlingly, but has been looked back on as one of the greatest albums of all time. So it's a hell of a journey for this thing.
Well, I've chose the perfect first ever Beatles album to listen to, haven't I?
Same. I've never listened to a full Beatles album. And I think a lot of that has got to do with, 1, the early catalogue of the Beatles just not appealing to me, and 2, Beatles fans, which we'll come into later on. But yeah.
Will you? I'm not coming into any Beatles fans.
You're not going to come together with me?
Right now?
over me. Ew, no, don't do that. Doom. Let's have some facts and or figures about Abbey Road before we get too homoerotic.
Yes. So this was released on the 26th of September 1969. Nice. And yeah, as we said, the final fully recorded Beatles album, meticulously crafted swan song at the time when the band was fracturing behind the scenes. The album was shaped by internal tensions, creative divergence, a desire to end on a high note, and the return of producer George Martin, who brought back the band's classic sense and structure and sophistication. The result is a record that feels like a grand finale disguised as a warm, effortless pop rock masterpiece.
I feel like trying to pigeonhole this album into a specific genre is really hard. And I say that because it just feels like there's a lot of every other genre in here.
And the music has evolved over time as well. So stuff that could have been classed as pop or rock back then would be looked at as something completely different in a modern day and age.
Pre-punk, pre-metal, pre-jazz fusion, maybe. Who knows? There's a lot of stuff to discuss in here, and you wouldn't be surprised given that it's in Abbey fucking Road, lads. Come on. What a hell of a first Beatles album to go through. Like, we didn't have to do Magical Mystery Tour. We didn't have to do
Yellow Submarine.
Beatles for Sale. We had to...
Or a Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club.
Well, that's the other one that could have been like...
I hope you will enjoy my show.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that song is because of Apu from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the accent because I don't want to get Hank Azaria'd.
Have all the Beatles been in The Simpsons? I think only John Lennon hasn't been.
No, because they have to be alive to be in it.
Oh, God, yeah, he died before The Simpsons started, didn't he?
Of course he did.
Oh, fuck.
He went to the aptly named on Google Maps John Lennon murder site.
I mean, why did he go there?
I don't know. Did he not have Google Maps?
Yoko, it says I'm going to die here.
Oh, no, Yoko.
I can't
Put
do it.
that gun down. Why are you pointing that at me?
You should imagine all the people that want to kill me. This got weird.
And my other half likes to say that I look like John Lennon and keeps putting me in round glasses.
I'm not sure you do look like John Lennon. I don't want to be unkind to you, but he's got quite a long face, and I don't think you've got quite a long face.
Anyway, let's give them a round of applause for having 3 singles.
Hey. I mean, this is back when music made sense.
Yep.
So,
do you want to guess the singles?
Oh, fuck. Do I want to guess the singles? Okay. I'm normally good at this, so I think I might have this. I think one of them was Oh Darling.
No.
Piss!
Okay, we'll give you one more try.
Come Together?
Yes.
Okay, fair, Come Together. What else is on? Because I think all of the singles came from side 1. I think that's kind of irrefutable considering what side 2 is. What else is on side 1? It's not going to be Maxwell Silverhammer. That would be ridiculous. If that
there is one off side 2.
Interesting.
So there's 2 off side 1, 1 off side 2.
2 off side 1, 1 off side 2. Okay, fair enough. It wasn't Oh Darling. I don't think it's Octopussy's Garden. That leaves me with Something or I Want You, She's So Heavy. Is it Something?
It certainly is.
Hey, and then side 2, I'm going to guess that it was Because.
Nah, Here Comes the Sun. One of the most famous Beatles songs of all time.
Yeah. You know when just something is just so ingrained that you just kind of like, well, yeah, that's just a thing.
You are said.
I should have said Here Comes the Sun. I'm a fucking moron. I'm surprised I got Something though, so that's good. Yeah, no, there's don't me wrong, there's a lot of good songs on this album, generally speaking, but like trying to find singles is difficult. And we'll get into all of that when we go over all the tracks as to kind of like why the eclectic nature of this album is so oddly appealing and at the same time shouldn't work in the slightest.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. Yeah. Any more facts and or figures for us?
Many critics consider it the Beatles' most sonically perfect album. Some argue it's their greatest work, a final moment of brilliance before the end.
Although that is all retrospective. I think that's the interesting thing to note is that like all of those thoughts about this being basically the progenitor to all music that will come after it for the next 60 years, that it's some kind of like magnum opus, magical, could never be replaced thing. That's all like fucking now. That's what people think now. At the time, it was very middling. There's a couple of reviews here that really made me kind of like taken aback. I think the Times said it was like, it's going to be called gimmicky. It just sounds like a live album, although there is some interesting things. Rolling Stone were like, it's complicated. That doesn't mean necessarily it's complex. Like, they were real fucking snotty about this at the time, but like now they're like, it's the second coming
insane.
It's the second coming of Jesus. It's no, and this is the thing that Beatles fans tell you all the fucking time. Like, if they hadn't released Abbey Road, you wouldn't have had any music for the past 60 years, and you will hear that ad fucking nauseum from Beatles fans.
But did you know that Paul's dead?
Paul is apparently dead. I've heard that theory.
And that came from this album art.
I mean, I've seen the footage where he's playing Live and Let Die and he just hits that note and he explodes. I love that meme.
But yeah, shortly after the album release, the cover art became part of the Paul is dead conspiracy.
Why?
According to followers of the rumour, the cover depicted the Beatles walking out on a cemetery in a funeral procession. The procession was led by Lennon, dressed in white as a religious figure. Starr was dressed in black as the Undertaker. McCartney, out of step with the others, was a barefoot corpse, and Harrison, dressed in denim, was the grave digger. The left-handed McCartney is holding a cigarette in his right hand, indicating that he's an imposter, and part of the number plate on the Volkswagen parked on the street is 281F, misread as 28 if, meaning that if McCartney would have been 28 if he had lived, despite the fact he was only 27 at the time of the photo, and subsequent releases of the record, the escalation of Paul is Dead rumour became the subject of intense analysis on mainstream radio and contributed to Abbey Road's commercial success in the US.
What's the age where it's like you're part of a club if you die?
27 club.
So, ironically.
So, yeah, random funny anecdote. I didn't know that was a thing.
No.
So, on my partner's 27th birthday,
I love this story.
I wrote in her card, "Welcome to the 27 Club." She read it and went, "Why the fuck would you say that?" I was like, "What?" She was like, "That's the club where everyone dies."
I remember you telling me about that.
Holy shit.
It's funny.
I had no clue. I did not know that was a thing.
Oh, fuck. That still makes me smile. That's such a funny story. I mean, it's all bollocks. So there's that. Like, have you seen the footage of them taking that photo?
Yeah, they only did it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, literally, it was 10 minutes outside. They took 8 photos total of like 4 of them going one way and 3 of them going the other, and they were fucking done. Like, it's literally like, they were going to call the album something else. Abbey Road wasn't the original title. I forget what the original title was going to be. But they were like, Abbey Road's got a nice sound to it. Since we're there, well, like, sometimes creativity is very much like not that creative, you know what I mean? It's like, it's the first thing you can think of. They had to think about other things, like, writing the fucking album. So
like
that was
coming
something.
Together right now.
Over
me.
Over you. Okay. Doom. Is that a good place to start when we talk about things we like from the album?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I'm good at segues. Fuck
yeah, you are.
I
don't think you'd be good at riding a Segway, but that's a different Segway.
No, because I'm probably about 10 stone too heavy, but Come Together, funny enough, was my favourite Beatles song prior to listening to the whole album. It then got changed by the album, but we'll get into that later on. I really like this song, and I'm going to tell you for why. Because during the 2012 Olympics, it was covered by the Arctic Monkeys, and they had a really cool bit of like all these butterfly puppets that were on the back of bicycles. It was a really fucking thing. Like, I'll be honest with you, 2012 was probably the last time I had any fucking hope for this country. So, like, that opening ceremony, I think, changed a lot of people's brain chemistries.
This sounds like an acid trip.
Have you not seen this?
No, I actively avoid the Olympics at all costs.
See, I don't mind the Olympics because at least it's people, like, doing something that they're very, very fucking singularly good at. So I'll watch the Olympics. Wimbledon is where I draw the line. I'm like, I can just about stomach that, but it's too middle class.
Do you like the grunting?
Only the blokes.
Tim Henman, get it up there.
And the darts. I'll watch the darts. But like,
wow, really?
I like the darts. It's fun.
Jesus Christ.
It's mostly men with pints shouting. Like, I feel more at home watching the darts than anything else. But no, the 2012 Olympics specifically felt like this big cultural celebration. I think not having any presence of any Beatles music would have been a bad idea. So they got around that, in my opinion, the best fucking way, which was have the Arctic Monkeys, at the time probably the biggest profile British band, do a cover of the Beatles. And they fucking nailed it. And it's so good. I had that on my iPod Touch for many, many years. All of that is to say, I like a cover version more than the actual track. But hearing the actual track, it is shockingly similar to the cover. There's kind of no further complication because I don't feel like there needs to be any further complication. I really fucking like Come Together.
I don't have the Arctic Monkeys one to listen to and would probably not want to listen to the Arctic Monkeys cover it because I don't like them. But this is a great song.
It's so fucking good.
It is such a good song. Like, genuinely, like, the bass lines on it. I know the Beatles get shat on for shitty bass lines because they don't really do much with bass.
Yeah.
But the bass on this is cracking. Like, McCartney did an absolute wonder with this one.
Oh, this is the thing, isn't it? I need that information open up, so I'm going to get that open in a moment. Over the course of this album, who's your favourite Beatles songwriter? Because it's, you know, you've got that Lennon-McCartney divide at this time.
I'm a Ringo Starr fan.
So you like Octopus's Garden and nothing else.
I thought that would be him writing that. He was ketted.
We'll put that one on the fridge, Ringo.
Oh, thank you. I worked hard on that one.
I don't really have many notes for Come Together because, like I said, it was my favourite one. I think what I appreciate about it is that even though it is inherently fucking nonsense, like the lyrics don't make a jot. The lyrics are very like Shangri-La, fucking post Sgt. Pepper, taking all the drugs Beatles. But even though it's that, it's very evocative of kind of like a trance. It's very kind of plural in the sense. Obviously, you got the Come Together lyrics, so it should be quite obvious. But it does feel oddly communal. It feels communal for the Beatles themselves because, like you say, it's a very heavy bass lead. It's McCartney who wrote it, but I still think those inflections from George Harrison's guitar are so good. I think Ringo is very fucking undersold on this album, not by the Beatles, but by the people looking back as fans. I think you've got to remember how fucking cromulent of a drummer he was. And I think you do hear it on this. You get those percussive little fills, like the and yeah, as somebody who used to play drums, you hear something like that, you go, that guy can fucking drum. That's really good. And obviously the lyrics are fucking nonsense, but like
that's the same as most Beatles songs. Let's be real.
I don't feel like that's
we all live in a yellow submarine.
Not this album, though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that most of the Beatles lyrics are absolute gobshite.
I don't think that's something you can really say until you get to the medley on this album, where it becomes more gobshite. But it's at least playful, interesting, artistic gobshite. And if I'm going to have gobshite, which inevitably I will, because the times they are a gobshiting, I want something that at least is
gobshiteless.
Joyous in its gobshite. I don't know if you can wear shoe shine, and I don't know what toe jam football is, but I know that, like...
But you got the new shoe shine.
Oh my God, it is a little bit like that.
That's where it's come from.
That's where it's from. Oh, wow, they're influencing more than I ever thought. Wow, maybe the fans of the Beatles really onto something. No, it's just, it really feels like I'm labouring a point here to just go, Good Thing is good.
Yeah.
But Good Thing is good. Like, it wouldn't be one of the Beatles' most iconic songs if it wasn't fucking good, and it's fucking good.
The only notes I have are swampy groove, iconic bass line.
Yeah. It's such a lovely opener as well.
It's a perfect opener. It's instantly cool and one of their best songs. Simple as.
100%. Now, this would be the interesting thing, because I know, before this album, I knew a grand total of 2 songs off this album, and it was this
and Here Comes the Sun.
And the rest I kind of like seen the names but never really heard, and you know that. So I feel like we should go to Here Comes the Sun next, and then maybe we just go down the fucking album.
You are said
Is Here Comes the Sun the Beatles song?
Yes.
Like the Beatles song?
Yes, for me.
I think it might be.
For me, if I hear the word Beatles, this is the first track that comes to mind, and it instantly makes me happy.
I feel like it's this or Hey Jude.
Yeah, between those. But you could go as far as saying that Hey Jude is a Paul McCartney song.
Now, that's the conversation, isn't it?
Because Here Comes the Sun, yes, it is mainly McCartney singing, isn't it?
I think it's McCartney singing, yeah.
But it is a quintessential Beatles song because you hear notes from everyone else. Hey Jude, mainly the piano, mainly the hey, with like little bits of John Lennon going really phlegmy at the end. Like,
no, that's the interesting bit, because I think it is McCartney on the vocals on this one, but it's written by George Harrison. And it's crazy to me that of the big breakup in the Beatles, which was the McCartney-Lennon breakup, the Beatles song may well have been written by George Harrison, who I think was really sidelined as the third man in the Beatles. And we'll go on, actually. I would love if somebody would suggest This Too Shall Pass, the George Harrison.
Is that the one with Hallelujah on?
That's the one with My Sweet Lord and a couple of other really fucking good songs. And I think by this time in the Beatles, again, I've had to learn all this very quickly. By this time in the Beatles kind of history, he's really trying to develop as a songwriter, and it wouldn't be until this band ends that he really hits his golden years. And I think for one of his earlier attempts at being a solid songwriter, being Here Comes the Sun is fucking metal. You compare this to like the song where he's moaning about tax. Like, there's a song, I don't know what album it's from, but it's like, I think it's called Here Comes the Tax Man or some shit like that. I think it might just be called Tax Man. And it's literally him moaning about how much tax he's got to pay. And like, it feels so disconnecting as a Beatles song to Here Comes the Sun. Which, like, it's the Beatles song outside of Hey Jude. It's the Beatles song of all time.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't, like, even if I did have a criticism, would it fucking matter?
I don't think it would, because I absolutely adore this song.
It's so lovely.
It is. It's just, there is nothing that you could say that would change my opinion of it, unless it's just randomly, oh, by the way, this song was actually about a deranged serial killer called Sun. Like, that was the only thing that would be able to like do it over for me.
Sun Silver Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun Silver Hammer.
Before we get into the rest of the album, I think I want to do the talking about the Beatles fans as a problem.
I mean, you go for it. I'm going to avoid this conversation. You can have all the fun of the comments.
I will try and keep it brief. But generally speaking, some of the most insufferable people to talk about music with are dyed-in-the-wool Beatles fans of a certain age. And Ian, if you are listening to this, unfortunately, I do mean people your age. Because I think that those who kind of lived through the Beatles in their childhood have this very rose-tinted vision of what they are and what they did for popular music. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like 90% of that isn't true. Because I think undoubtedly, unquestionably, they were paving the way for a lot of stuff that came after it. A lot of stuff. When the progenitors of an entire fucking genre use you as the standard, because Ozzy Osbourne was obsessed with the fucking Beatles, what else can I say? The man who invented that genre owed it all to the Beatles. It's a genre that I love very much. But talking about the Beatles and talking about music in general and the exciting things that are happening in all different scenes across all different genres is so fucking tedious when you're talking to somebody who's like, oh, but none of that would have happened if it wasn't for the Beatles. Like, yeah, probably not. A lot of things wouldn't happen if it weren't for other things in history. Let's get fucking political. I think the social democratic evolution of Germany as a world power wouldn't have happened if they haven't got their arse handed to them in 2 concurrent world wars. But you don't hear me bringing it up every time you're buying fucking bread and eggs. There are some things that I think don't need to be brought up, and the Beatles basically invented all modern music is one of those thoughts that is just... I just have such a problem with it because I think it hampers all ability to talk about what makes music in this day and age exciting. I can't talk about Bill Murray's blend of metal, country, and the Backstreet Boys without someone reminding me that if the Beatles didn't exist, that you wouldn't have any of those 3 genres. And I'm fucking sick and tired of it. That being said, top line thoughts for the bits of the album that I hadn't heard, which is every track apart from the 2 we've already talked about, were, oh my fucking God, I can hear basically every genre in this, and I'm amazed. and I had my favourite Beatles song changed by this album, and I have a lot of thoughts about the back end of the album that I really wish I didn't have because it would have made everything I just said worth it. But like genuinely, I do think it is quite a good record.
I'm a big fan of this. Like, I wasn't expecting to be, because as I said, I'd never listened to a Beatles album. All I knew is that I was pissed off with the amount of Beatles merch available in just random shops.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, if you're going to have that much merchandise in a shop, you're a bit of a sellout. And I know that it's probably not them. It's probably done afterwards, or just Paul McCartney trying to make a fuck ton of money before he explodes. But yeah, I didn't come into this with high hopes, because I know that I've heard the stereotypes of Beatles fans, as you say.
Yeah.
And I know that some people, you can't fart without them saying, oh, the Beatles made that.
And you can't even have the opinion of, I don't want to listen to the Beatles, or I don't get it. You can't have those opinions, because people go, no, you haven't done your proper research. And it knocks me off to no end.
The annoying thing for me is that, I've talked about a friend that used to force me to listen to bands I didn't like. He used to do that with the Beatles album.
Right.
He said he was a big Beatles fan. When the Beatles rock band came out, I went, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They've made the Paul McCartney bass. I wonder if it's left-handed. And he went, what are you talking about? He plays guitar.
Fuck me.
And he's right-handed.
Fuck me.
I was just there like, you're talking out your arse. First of all, he's left-handed. Second of all, he plays a Hofner bass.
Yeah, that was why it was so iconic, as to why that did get made into a plastic.
Because it was actually Hofner that made it.
Yeah, it was made.
They licensed it. It was Hofner.
Of all the things I wish I'd have bought, I think I kind of wish I'd have bought that now. Even though I did own the original Rock Band with the shitty kind of like Strat knockoff.
Yeah.
This is a tangent. But the Beatles Rock Band was the gateway for basically people of our generation to get into the Beatles.
Exactly.
And I still rejected it. I was like, no, I'm not going to be the boring Beatles fan. And now here we are.
But no, I know a lot of people that are big Beatles fans. I never really got it. I just remember being a kid and like the Yellow Submarine film was on telly, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah. This is too vibrant. And I just kind of never got into them because we didn't have streaming, of course. So like, I had to buy the physical album, and I didn't want to do that if it was something I didn't know I was going to like, and they were too light and too la 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 compared to what we were trying to listen to be the edgy teens that we were.
This is it. They were no Bullet for My Valentine.
They were no Funeral for a Friend or Mastodon.
I could not Deftones to the Beatles.
No. You could not get crunk to the Beatles.
I really wanted to say a bunch of heavy bands. I was like, they were no Mastodon, they were no Pantera, and then go,
they were no Panic at the Disco.
They were no the B-52s.
They were no Beatles. Wait,
they were no. Oh fuck.
Anyway,
so the rest of the album that we haven't heard. What were your favourite ones of the songs that you heard for the first time?
Well, I've got a lot to go through here.
Same. To be boring, I really liked it, but let's do it.
Yeah, so I liked something. It was just, it's a masterpiece, essentially. It's I think it's George Harrison's best song again.
It's Harrison again.
It's Harrison again. The guitar and the tone they use, it's so different to the opening track of Come Together. It's soft. It's slow, beautiful guitar work. The only problem is that every time I hear someone say something in the way, I go back to the something in my ass means. Yeah. No matter how they say it, it just comes back to me.
Something in my ass. She moves. It's a beautifully written song, and I think there's an argument here. Like I said at the top of the episode, there's the McCartney-Lennon divide. Which one do you think was the better songwriter? And I think Harrison as the third man is such a fucking dark horse, because this is masterful. And I think weirdly, of all the bits in this song, I think the bridge is my favourite bit. And there's a great bit of drumming, which again, let's not forget that Ringo Starr is no slouch. He's very much the meme of this band, judging entirely from his MS Paint art anyway. He's still very good. There's some lovely fills in this, and bearing in mind it is a slower ballady style song, to get all of that complexity in there. And again, I'm going to call it complexity, not complication. It is complexity, because these are very talented people. To get all of that in what could be a very straightforward I love you la 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 song, and to not do any of that and to make it as good as it is a fucking triumph.
I love the fact that you say it's the McCartney and Lennon divide, yet two of the best tracks on the album are Harrison.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it?
It is absolutely mental.
But this is the thing, because it was the back end of the Beatles. This was a Harrison who was very ready to be done with this shit.
Isn't he the first one that walked out?
He is during the
Get Out recording.
Yeah.
I think I'm done with this.
I think I'm done, lads. I'm going. And
Edge of what? I think he's quit. Oh,
and just like, we don't know what to fucking do now. I think I read it somewhere. I think weirdly I read it on Reddit, and it was an extract from a book where basically Paul McCartney was trying to instruct Harrison on how to do the songs that he'd penned. And as far as I understand it, and the Beatles fans can correct me, Harrison's problem wasn't necessarily with Paul McCartney. Harrison's problem was with John Lennon, who was becoming a bit of a fucking
nightmare-fueled, drug-addled corpse.
I mean, that's
and
one way.
Yoko Ono.
And Yoko Ono. It's certainly two ways of putting it. I think megalomaniacal could be another way of putting it.
So he thought he was the bollocks, essentially.
He did. He thought he was the man, and the Beatles was his backing band. And Harrison fervently objected to that. So apparently there was a moment where they were talking about one of the tracks on this album. It isn't specified in the book. Where Harrison was like, "That's fine. You can tell me how to play your song. That's absolutely fine. I will take," and basically treating the whole thing like a session musician, to then confidently write two of the best Beatles songs in the same session. And this is why I think the whole Harrison as the third man argument, it kind of falls on its arse.
Oh, 100%.
I think realistically, by this time in history, maybe not before, but by this time in history, I think Harrison might have been a better songwriter than Lennon. And that's my hot take for the episode.
And I agree. Next favourite track.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Oh Darling.
This is a McCartney track, I think.
This is a McCartney track. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear he gives it his all. It's gorgeous.
I mean, Paul has always seemed to have been influenced kind of by kind of like more bluesy style.
Yeah.
Apparently it's like is this the one that's kind of like a Louisiana style? Yeah, like a Southern USA sound. It's like the evolution of like your bog standard 4-bar blues, but they've kind of like built it out on this very Southern sound. And it shouldn't match McCartney's vocal style. But then he starts doing early fucking screamo.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking good.
And you get the little bang, 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 bang.
That is such a lovely tone it's got to it as well.
Yeah.
And that combined with Paul. Now, you can tell he's not very good. Like, obviously, metal's changed a little bit in the time. But you can tell that there's like he's straining his voice. You can tell it's not his natural way of singing. But fuck, it sounds good.
It sounds insane, especially with the quality of the microphone they had back then, because that would have been a forceful, like, exhalation to get that vocal range on those shite mics.
Yeah.
Because they were literally recording them on predated toasters at that point.
It was like, I mean, obviously all time in history is hampered by the tech of its time, and it's nowhere near where we are now. But like, just the actual difference in that man's throat compared to his clean singing. It's so fucking good. It adds so much texture to the song. I think it shows that, like, okay, yeah, he cooked his vocals not with a great amount of skill, but like to add that edge and that roughness, I think you kind of understand why kind of like the parents of the kids that were growing up at the time were going, this music is dangerous. Because, like, yeah, you got a man fucking screaming his fucking soul out, like half of the runtime of this thing. And like I say, by today's standards of pig squeals and which I can't do, dude didn't get that far out. Like, it's not bad. I'm sat here and I'm shocked. I'm listening to a fucking Beatles album, and I can see the straight line between him and fucking Parkway Drive, and I don't know. I didn't think I would expect that. You know what I mean? Like, I was totally taken aback, but it fits so beautifully and it's so well written, and I really, really enjoyed it.
And I'm going to follow it on with another song that has a similar sort of vibe, which is You Never Give Me Your Money.
Now, excuse me, because I need to double check. This is a McCartney one. There we go. So it's McCartney again.
Yeah. It feels like it's a follow on from the song, because I could imagine the initial part being like Billy Joel's Piano Man, being played in a bar randomly somewhere, and then all of a sudden it kicks in saloon style, American inspired. It feels like every McCartney track on this album is American inspired, which probably talks more about his living arrangements at the time.
Yeah. And certainly where their audience was.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
When we talk about breaking America.
Beatles Mania was America.
This is it.
They made the Monkees from American artists to be their version of the Beatles,
Precisely.
and they flopped.
The whole thing about breaking America is a Beatlesism at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, we had domestic music in kind of like prior to this, and then it was the British invasion, which was very much kickstarted by the Beatles. So, like...
John, I think we're in America. How'd you know? We got off a plane.
John, I really want to go to Waffle House.
I like IHOP more.
It's all. You have to kind of pretend that like your nostrils don't exist to do the Beatles.
John, I found KFC. I want to be a train, John.
I don't think there's 11 herbs and spices in this, lads.
I want to make a TV show about talking trains with a fat man.
Did you see that the Beatles actually had a TV show? Like a full-on cartoon about them, where they didn't voice a single fucking one of themselves. You know the Yellow Submarine film?
Yeah.
They don't voice themselves. They do the singing. They've recorded original songs, but it's sound-alikes for all of them.
Of course it is.
Which, to be fair, at this time, was anybody from the north of Liverpool.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that they managed to get one of them to voice Thomas the Tank Engine as well.
Oh, man, I grew up with
Ringo Starr, just, Thomas, son.
Henry's been bricked up. I'm like, lads, I'm bricked up with this album, and let me tell you.
Anyway, yeah, You Never Give Me Your Money. Great follow-on song from that. Really enjoyed it. I know we've been going on this one a while, so I'm just going to chuck a couple more in there. Mean Mr. Mustard. What the fuck? Such a mean old man.
It's so
such
absurd.
A random, absurd, good song.
This feels like it could have been like a Sgt. Pepper cast-off, but like I'm still not angry about it.
I'll follow with Polythene Pam. I really like it, but it does remind me of What I Like About You. Very good guy.
I thought for a second it was going to be That's What I Like About You by the... Oh, fuck. What's that band?
That's the song I was singing?
Yeah. What's the band, though? What's the band?
I will Google.
It's the ones who did Talking in Your Sleep. It's the same ones. Fuck, what are they called?
American sitcom.
Nah.
The Romantics.
The Romantics. I hear the secrets that you keep when you're talking in your sleep.
That song just reminded me of that. Like, what I like about you.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I liked that Proto Pam is basically, Polythene Pam, kind of feeding into my point, is basically proto-punk.
Yeah.
It's got all the hallmarks of fucking... I mean, the Kinks were going at the same time, but it sounds a little bit like the Kinks. But it's basically halfway to the fucking Sex Pistols and the Damned and all that. I love how it sounds. You don't hear a Scouse accent from the Beatles on any other record, as far as I'm aware, and yet they break out the full Scouse here. It's so fucking fun. It borrows from, like I say, the things of its time. The Kinks really is what I heard. Lola a lot in this, and maybe a bit of like not All Day and All the Night, but like maybe a little bit. You really got me. It's a little bit of that in there. It sounds like, and again, it wouldn't be the first time on the album that it has kind of predicted where music's going to go in a weird way. For all of like 1 minute and 40 that this lasts, it's like, here's exactly where punk's going to be in 10 years' time. And it gets that exact vibe down. It's not as anti-establishment as punk would eventually be, but like it feels gritty. And I like that it feels like Polythene Pam is somebody that they've fucking chanced on in the street. It feels down to earth. It's also... I guess an LGBT song. I don't know whether that was their intent, but I think retroactively we can go, she's good looking, but she looks like a man. Like, well, yeah, men are very good looking as well, guys.
I'll follow that on with Golden Slumbers. It was kind of the beginning of the end. Really huge, haunting vocals on this one.
It's on the edge of being slightly fried. It's got that kind of like guttural back of the throat kind of like tone to it. But yeah, haunting, cinematic, dramatic for certain. Like you get more of the "You Never Give Me More Money" motif in there with the... I don't know if they did get like a particularly big horn section to do that. Also, big horn, but it sounds like the curtain slowly dropping, and knowing that this is the last album that they recorded together. In its own runtime, it feels really like prophetic about what the future of these lads will be. And yeah, it's oddly emotional, I think.
And then I'll follow that on. I know I said that was the last one, but I really enjoyed Carry That Weight.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mining song. Gonna carry that weight for a long time.
Is it the only
kind of
song...
like a football chant?
Oh, it is a bit like a football chant.
You can imagine like a ground singing that all together.
It's very arms around your mate, swaying back and front. But is it the only time on the album where all four of them are singing?
I think it might be.
I think it's got to be.
If not, it's one of the only few times.
It is, yeah. And it's very odd hearing all of them sing all at the same time. And again, it feels like part of, same with Golden Slumber, if part of that like home stretch for the Beatles as a fucking entity. It's that proper send off. Oh no, this is the one where it's got the motif at the end, and it really kind of like feels like it's heading towards a conclusion before like it does the whole spring back into life. We're doing an encore thing in the end.
Did they cover Linkin Park?
Yeah.
Didn't even matter.
John, in the end, it doesn't really matter.
I've came too far to lose it all. In the end, doesn't even matter anymore.
It took coming to Louisiana to come to this KFC, but I finally realised I fucking hate you. What is this narrative we're inventing about the Beatles?
I've also found the 11th herb. It was in me ciggy.
Which one was it, Ringo?
Marijuana. Made it taste better.
Someone get Ravi Shankar on the phone. Okay, enough of that.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm going to finish there with my top tracks.
Ooh, okay, cool. I have a couple more I want to talk about. A couple of things I wanted to say about You Never Give Me Your Money is that I really like that kind of like there's the weird ragtime element, the whole vaudevillian like which is done
so much better than last week's album.
Yes.
Like, this is how you do it.
Well, I think it'd be the week previous his album, but the Alice Cooper one.
Yeah, the Alice Cooper one, essentially. It's done so much better than he did it. It's like, even though the Beatles were not Southern American, they managed to do this better without doing the stupid accent.
Yeah, but again, it's halfway between like a Victorian musical, which would be very British, and that kind of like vaudeville ragtime early kind of like expansion of America, kind of like almost a New York kind of thing, which like I think is very effective for what it is. But yes, it is far better than what Alice Cooper achieved. And you can weirdly, and I can't believe I'm making this comparison, you can draw such a straight line to basically everything that Panic did in its first two albums from like that one section of this song. And again, it just like, you know, when the critic in Ratatouille eats the ratatouille and like gets blasted back to childhood. It's like, oh fuck, I finally get Phoebe, you can't sweat out. Like it just happened all at once. But I like the bit where it kind of like drops out to that soft rock. It's really nice. It's very dreamy feeling, but also 70s rockish. I think it's wonderful. The only one that we haven't spoken about that I'm like, I need to talk about, well, two of them to be fair, is we'll do my second place first, which is Maxwell Silverhammer, because I love that you can hear the moment that Paul McCartney realizes he's getting away with it on this song. There's a bit, I think it's the second verse, and he starts fucking pissing himself laughing. And it's so infectious. He can't believe that he's managed to write this jaunty fucking pop song about a guy who kills people with hammers. And neither can I. Like, it's so reflective of the experience I had going, this is not what this song is about. But, like, he seriously just fucking murders people for 3 minutes straight. And also there's a synthesizer, which is weird for the fucking Beatles. I really thought it was very funny. It
was very odd, I have to admit.
Yeah, it's a ragtime.
I knew when I heard that one that would be up there for your list. It was just a bit too weird for me.
I get it. I just thought it was so. only the Beatles at this point in period in history could have gotten away with doing that. And even Paul McCartney cannot believe he's being allowed to do this. And I just love the emotion.
My note is a musical cartoon with a body count.
Yeah.
It's just such an odd song, but why is it fun to sing along to?
It's the bit that broke me, and I actually laughed. I'm physically laughed out loud. Was the judge is sending him down, and then, oh no!
Here comes the hammer!
He's made his way behind the fucking judge. I would love to see, like, a dramatic adaptation of this, and just the moment where the murderer kills the judge. I shouldn't be laughing, but that's what the song does to you.
It is hilarious that he just full on outs the fucking...
It's so ridiculous. And then my actual first place and my new favourite Beatles song is I Want You, brackets, She's So Heavy. And I knew this was going to be the one that you'd have trouble with because I think it's Lennon, and I do think this is one of the weakest eras for Lennon. But what I like about it is that I can hear the first echo of like rock, metal, screamo, emo, everything. The fact that this feels like it calls forward to every genre I have loved is fucking insane. And I finally get when Ozzy was like, if it wasn't for the Beatles, there'd be no Black Sabbath. I fucking get it. It's all here. You can hear that progenitor to the metal sound when you get to that second movement. Like that dum 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 bam dum dum. It's metal has always been kind of a bastardization of blues in the best possible way. And I just think they got it exactly right there. I think the song obviously is quite heavy. I know exactly why you don't like it. I'm going to call it out now because the further you get to the ending with the distortion that creeps in, it can grate on the ears a little bit. But I think that is further contributing to the proto-metal sound. I think the hard stop at the end is genius. For two reasons. One, because of the physical media limitations of vinyl, and two, because it is a clear stop to that element of the album. You stop that, and like for us, we'd have heard just like a skip into Here Comes the Sun. But for people in 1969, would have seen the needle move off their record. They'll have to sit there knowing that like it feels oddly incomplete and yet kind of like forever going on and plodding and Christ knows what. And how to have taken the time to pick the record up, flip the fucking thing over, queued up the fucking thing, drop the needle, press play, and then it's Here Comes the Sun. It's like, it's a different experience entirely. I think what seems like quite a unconsidered ending actually makes it so much more impactful than anything else on the record. And as I'm going to quote my notes here directly, I bet you Rob skips this based on the ending of this, and I think he's a pussy if he does. Those are my exact notes. Worst tracks, let's go, bitch.
My exact notes were, this song is 3.5 minutes too long.
But that's why I like it.
It's just, they could have cut it off 3.5 minutes early and it would have been a great song.
Yeah, but that's why I like it.
It's too long.
But that's why I like it.
It's so boring. Like, it is just boring.
See, that is why I like it.
And I absolutely hate the cut off.
I love the cut off. I just think
like with the media element, yeah, great, because you don't need a diminuendo on the end of every song to show that it's finishing. Yeah. The hard cut off, I can understand it. If it had been 3.5 minutes earlier, it'd have been perfect. But I hate it. Just drags. It's just, I'm just sat there in the car like, it just drags and drags and drags and drags. But that isn't the song that I don't like.
Is it Octopus's Garden?
No, that one's just fucking odd. Like, I didn't mind it.
We let Ringo have a turn.
I want to be under the sea.
I'll tell you what, I think Ringo's only written like 2 or 3 songs and they've all been based around being under the water. So
hello, I am under the water.
At least he's consistent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to throw one out there, and my exact notes are, it's like singing inside of a cathedral made of clouds. That was the note that it gave me when I put my prompt in.
It's quite emotive, though.
It is, yeah, but this one is a bit odd, a head scratcher for sure. I cannot stand it. It's too ethereal. And its harmony, I just thought it was boring. I didn't like it. It sounded like church choir music. It was just, no.
Harmony?
Yeah.
Which one's Harmony?
Sorry, because The theme is harmony.
The theme is harmony.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's been a long day.
I will give you that. The notes I wrote down was, if I had to pick a Wheaties...
A wheatist? Hello, this is the song made out of wheat.
If I had to pick Wheatus...
Her name was Joelle.
It's true. I can't remember all the...
I had a dream about her.
A dream about...
She rang my bell.
If you know
Gym
what I
class
mean.
in half an hour.
Whoa. If I had to pick a weakest track on the record, it is this. But that has a lot more to do with its placement on the album than it has anything else, because it follows Here Comes the Sun.
Exactly.
And I think that's the thing that hampers it the most. Because, like, it's awkward, because it's between the Beatles song of all time.
And your favourite Beatles song.
Well, no, because my favourite Beatles song was that.
Before Here Comes
But it's
the Sun,
before
isn't it?
You Never Give Me Your Money, which is the start of the massive fucking mega medley, which basically acts as like a swan song to the whole fucking band. And the problem is that even if, like, I think the synth is in here is pretty good. I think lyrically it's cromulent but lacking compared to every other track. But as an opportunity to catch breath before the run to the end, I think it serves a purpose, but its purpose isn't to entertain me. And I think that's the problem I had with Because, is that it just, on any other album, I think it'd be perfectly great. The problem is it's sandwiched between some of the best things this band ever did, and it feels flat because of it.
For me, it just doesn't feel like it has a place on any album. It just, this is one that would be better on the cutting room floor. I doubt that you'd find any Beatles fan that goes, oh, my favourite song is Because.
Probably not.
It's the only track, and I think you'll agree, that doesn't have any modern day influence on music.
No.
Every other track on this album, I could hand on heart say, has had some influence on the shape of modern day music. This sounds like a church choir.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't fit in with the rest of the album, and it wouldn't fit in with any of their albums. Maybe on a John Lennon personal album with, like, Imagine, it'd be a good follow one. No, I'm just saying, like, that's the sort of album it would be fine with.
I mean, you are right. The writers of this are Lennon and McCartney.
There we go.
Like, yeah.
So it would fit well on a Lennon album, but I don't think it's a Beatles song.
No, I think it's... I'm not sure whether I'm kind of on the same wavelength as it doesn't deserve to be here on any Beatles record. I just think that if you cut it from Abbey Road, I feel like my experience would not have changed. And you can think about that one way or the other, but, like, I'm just going to let it sit there. I don't think it needs to be here. I don't think it's adding an element to the album that I'm not getting from any other track. And when we're talking about the most iconic Beatles album of all time, that does form part of the consideration towards the end of the episode. But the only question that matters, in and amongst all these perspectives, is, do we think it is unskippable? I'm happy to go first.
Go on then.
I really was hesitant to go, this might be one of the greatest things ever made, because I just have that feeling that just because someone or something or some product got there first doesn't necessarily make it the best. It is not about being, pioneering something is virtuous and Christ knows what else, but it doesn't necessarily perfect the medium. I think, unfortunately, the Beatles kind of did both. And I hate that I have that opinion. I really do. I think in my heart of hearts, like, I don't think this is as much of a slam dunk as Rumours. I'm prepared to die on that fucking hill. I will fight the Beatles fans on this. I don't think this is as much of an easy 10 out of 10 as Rumours was. But it's so fucking close, I can't give it anything other than unskippable. It completely changed my mind on listening to the Beatles. It got me interested in the history of that band. It changed my favourite Beatles songs from an Arctic Monkeys cover to Lennon farting around for 7 minutes. And I kind of love it for it. Warts and all, imperfections kind of not as low as the best moments on other people's records. Fuck, you need to listen to it. It's at the very minimum you need to hear it once album. And in my opinion, I really think you benefit from multiple listens of it. This is almost the definition, like I say, just coming in second place to Fleetwood Mac, but it's almost the definition of unskippable, and I kind of hate myself for it.
I don't hate the sound of that. I don't see it in the same gaze that you do. I know it is a very influential album. and we have very different viewpoints on some of the music that we've listened to. So I am willing, in this instant, to bust out the asterisks.
Oh boy.
Because you don't understand my hatred for because. Like,
just of all the ones,
because I just do not like it.
Okay.
I cannot stand that song. And part of me is thinking that the album is better without it.
Yeah.
And if I use that logic, then there's only one place I can put this album.
I understand that.
So I'm having an internal monologue with myself.
Mm-hmm. Or out loud, even.
I'm not Ed Sheeran. Don't use that. I'm not thinking out loud.
I mean, let's be real. Would you rather have this or Ed Sheeran?
Oh, fuck me. I'd have this in a heartbeat.
There you go.
I need to stick to my principles, and I cannot stand because...
Oh, no.
And that track that you said, which was the heavy one.
Oh, I Want You.
I Want You is 2 to 3 minutes too long. And with that being said...
Are you kidding?
I am going to skip it.
You've done this to Dark Side of the Moon. You've done it to Abbey Road. Is there nothing you won't kill?
I didn't kill Rumours.
You didn't kill Rumours, I know.
That was a slam dunk. I had no notes.
This feels so wrong.
It does, but even you agreed that this album would be better without because.
I did say that.
You said it was in the wrong order.
I did say it was in the wrong order.
And by saying that, and that is the premise that we've built this show on, that if we think, even if we think the album is great and we love the songs on it,
this is so wrong.
If we see an issue with the album, whether it's one track, whether it's 10, that makes it different and makes it sound worse.
I didn't think that of all the hills I could die on, it would be the Beatles. I genuinely think you're incorrect.
I don't care. It's my opinion.
It's half your show.
It's half my show. And the consensus is we have to agree for it to get a verdict.
I was already feeling sorry.
I was going to give it the caveat of listen to it once. I hate because so much. And I think that I Want You is a 7.5 minute song that is 3.5 minutes too long.
But that's its charm.
But it's boring.
I don't agree with you on it boring. On it boring?
On it boring. I don't agree.
It boring, Rob Man, 2026.
So yeah, I am sticking with my verdict.
Fucking hell.
I will say the same as I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did, and I did enjoy it.
Fucking hell. Okay, Abbey Road is in the skip. This feels, the words feel dirty coming out of my mouth, but it's in the skip.
Deeds.
Anyway, if you have an album, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, that you think is better than Abbey Road, that you think is unskippable, you should send it to us. skippod@gmail.com. That's skipdpod@gmail.com. You can also go to the link tree, linktr.ee/skipdpod, and send those suggestions to us. If Abbey Road can't make it, and you've got the brass balls to think that your album will, you know what? Go for it, lad. Anything's possible. Nobody would have thought that we'd have put the album of all time into the skip, but it's fucking there. It is there, lads, and we all have that cross to bear. Anyway, next week, we've got... so, trying to do that dead serious and I can't. Next week, it's very much a more modern album, but not quite up to date. It's one from our childhood, which will be very interesting.
Very reminiscent to my childhood.
I also think it's going to be about half the fucking length of this one. So that'll be fun. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye!